replacement, although that will also mean some positional changes.
Yeah, and I think pretty flexible across the middle of the park there for Celtic, but the 4-4-2 situation, as we always see, I think Zurawski and Maloney will start up front. Nakamura, Petrov pretty floating around in the middle there. Lennon and Keane, the two strong anchormen in there as well. McManus on the back of a new contract. All's looking good for Celtic.
Well, it certainly has looked good for Celtic at Easter Road in recent times. They haven't lost here in the league since March 2000, 6 years ago. They won by 2-1. One of the scorers that day for Hibs, incidentally, was Kenny Miller. Will join Celtic in the summer, obviously. Mark Viduka scored the Celtic goal. How times change. So Neil Lennon in that change Celtic strip on the left, leading out Celtic, with Gary Caldwell leading out Hibs, of course, about to join Celtic in the summer. Has signed that pre-contract, but I'm quite sure we'll see from him a very committed performance for Hibs.
Absolutely, I think he's a good leader and a good captain, always leading from the front, pushing his team forward. Nothing less on his mind than getting 3 points today for his Hibs side.
So the team's led out by the referee Alan Freeland, who's had a very strange referee career this season. 2 red cards only, both in the same game, and for players playing for St Johnstone.
There's that man on the new deal. 7 goals this season, including a hat-trick against Rangers, full England debut against England, and the scorer against Estonia in his last full international. A man banging form.
Well, he will be a major threat, I'm sure, to Celtic. Shunsuke Nakamura welcoming this opportunity to get back in the starting lineup. Came on as substitute last week against Aberdeen when the score was 0-0, so obviously made a very good impression then. Signed from Regina, and they paid $2.7 million, in fact, to buy him here. He scored 11 goals in 80 matches for Regina. He's scored 4 in 29 for Celtic. So Gordon Strachan makes the dugout. A Hibs supporter in his youth, Gordon Strachan, he's always declared that. As of course is Bernard Gallagher, the Ryder Cup captain, in the stand. Tony Mowbray emerges there for the handshake pre-match, and obviously a relaxed atmosphere between the two sets of coaches, and the Celtic huddle continues.
It could be a big advantage, the lack of Celtic supporters in Easter Road today for the Hibs players. Always forcing the side along. Be a strange situation there today.
Alan Freeland there. All these two players off playing for St Johnstone, Simon Menzies and Scott Patterson, both dismissed, playing for St Johnstone against Clyde, and that was for arguing with each other. There's only 2 red cards of the season. So the Celtic end depleted as they prepare to start the match at Easter Road, and Hibs will be very anxious to maintain their growing status in the Scottish game. They really have made a huge impression this season with their attacking play in particular. So the early exchanges obviously will be important as ever, and it's been possible for Celtic to ensure, I think, that Hibs played downhill in the first half. They like to do that normally in the second half. So there's Lennon's first contribution. The header down, a calm one by Gary Smith. There's David Murphy, and Nakamura starting the match wide on the right hand side for Celtic. Have a careful look at their setup. Neil Lennon in the heart of the midfield beside Roy Keane.
I think it's the beauty of the Celtic midfield. 4 players, very flexible, especially Nakamura can play down the left and the right. Lennon normally the sit-in of the 4, and Petrov, as usual, I would imagine, will be all over the park.
Well, I have started with Petrov up as the main support for Zurawski and Maloney on the left. But the flexibility will be apparent as the game unfolds. That's Telfer's pass, deflected for the throw to Celtic. Well, Hibernian, despite their excellent form and many occasions against the Old Firm, have struggled to do real damage against Celtic in recent times. It's 6 years since that last league win by 2-1. Lennon's pass picks out Petrov, who's come off the front, giving that away. Sproul sets off, taking on Mark Wilson, and you see Maloney doubling back to give support there. The pass from Killen goes behind Sproul. It's deflected out though for the throw, which Stephen Whittaker will take. Michael Stewart joining in. Here's Whittaker. Lots of confidence in the Hibs ranks. They like to get the ball to the opposing final third, do some damage there. That's Stewart's pass, well intercepted by Mark Wilson. Some good defensive work by Wilson, who's played 5 times before against Hibs for Dundee United without being on the winning side. 4 defeats and a draw, his record. He's a Dundee United player, looking to change that again this afternoon. Here's Caldwell. Happily, no suggestion from the Hibs supporters of any catcalling because of his move. This was apparent the first time he played after that move was announced. Well, Mark Wilson really has surprised many by the way he's performed so well at left back.
Yeah, I think he settled in tremendously well at left back, as you've just said, Jock. Out and out right back at Dundee United, but has not looked out of place at all in this Celtic back four.
So here's Bobo Baldi's first contribution to the proceedings. Draws a reaction from the Hibs supporters.
I'd rather manage without big John Hartson up front today. Celtic often rely on him for the out ball to hold the ball up, get the midfield players supporting. That's a big part of Celtic game. Could be a big miss today.
Well, a huge miss because he scored 14 times in 13 games against Hibs, John Hartson. So that really does reflect a major loss of scoring ability against Hibs, and a foul from Hibs, a foul on Petrov. Challenge from behind picked up by the referee. Hibs players not too happy about that, as Gary Caldwell is a bit clumsy going in.
Yeah, Gary Caldwell trying to get the wrong foot around the side of Petrov there. A straightforward decision for the referee in a dangerous position. Nakamura, the expert on these. Fantastic technique with that left foot.
Nakamura goes for goal. Not far away. Simon Brown at full stretch to cover that. A little bit ambitious perhaps from Nakamura.
I think Simon Brown had that one covered. Just trying to test the goalkeeper early doors there, but, failing to hit the target. Seen him time and time again score great goals from that sort of distance, but this time just wide of the upright.
Well, the last thing Hibs want to do, I'm sure, is concede an early goal to Celtic. There's Roy Keane getting his reception from Hibs fans as well. Good control from Zurowski. Nakamura on the right hand side. All left foot here. You see the control in that area, but just very well on the right hand side. Telfer, a little bit casual, closed down quickly. That's Keane doing that tidy piece of work in midfield once again. Telfer has Lennon behind. Good hustling play from midfielder by Michael Stewart. This is Sproul able to get into full gear here, and Maloney's done a good job getting back. Excellent play by Sean Maloney for Celtic.
You can hear the buzz though as soon as Sproul gets on the ball. The Easter Road crowd in anticipation of that young man with his blistering pace.
So Celtic over the match doing a 4-4-1 formation. They've got 4 across the middle with Petrov in front of them, and then Zurowski ahead of that. A little note taken by Gordon Strachan for the half-time team talk.
That will also allow, playing in that sort of formation, Jock, it will allow Sean Maloney, when the ball is being created on the right-hand side, to come across and link up with Zurowski. And if the ball is lost, then Petrov will just slot back into a midfield area.
I like that, when you get a pen that works.
It's probably a bit cold.
Need to remember that, the manager, I think. You'll have to remember the point he wants to note. Back there from Glass to Murphy. Natural left side in this Hibs side, because both Murphy and Glass are genuine left-sided players, giving good balance to this side. Head flick on's a good one by Killen. Wilson carefully back to Boric. And Hibs have the throw.
Good pressure from Hibs midfield there. We've seen in the opening 6 minutes. Very competitive in that midfield area, as you would expect. Not a lot of time on the ball.
Baldi's interception not complete. Here's Killen with a chance. Hibs take the leads. Chopped off for offside.
Well, there is a warning. That man is capable of sneaking in there. We've seen him this season already. Very close indeed. It was a cool finish, nevertheless, and a big let-off there for Celtic in the back four.
Well, a pensive look in the face of Tony Mowbray. I think you will have to say the line was just about right on that, but very, very tight indeed. Not much daylight between the two players.
There's an early warning there for Celtic. Killing's quite prepared to play on them shoulders, and we've got players in the midfield area, Hibs, that can find them passes.
Well, I thought it was a foul by Maloney. I thought the ball was out of reach when he was backing into Sproul. Alan Phelan disagrees with that. He's given that to Celtic's way. But the ball was not within playing distance, I didn't think, for Maloney when he backed off Sproul.
Battle of the Giants there.
Referee Phelan, another experienced man.
You're seeing it from there. It looks a foul Celtic's way, all the way.
Yeah, but the first infringement, I think, is a question mark. How about that? For that, very tight indeed.
Tell you what, that is very, very, very tight. And for me, looking at that a second time, it looks in level.
Well, such a close call for the assistant on this side, but he made his decision quickly enough. Accepted very well, incidentally, by the Hibs players. Good discipline there. Chris Killen's made a very good impression. 3 goals in 5 matches since joining the club from Oldham. And taking that Gary O'Connor role up front. Has the physical presence to do that, Mark. Yeah,
he's a big boy, as we've seen already. Wins his fair share of headers, but he's also pretty pacey as well. Quite prepared to run at the side of the centre-halves, in behind the full-backs. And looks a good acquisition. A good piece of business there from Tony Mowbray.
There's Baldy across to McManus. Well, there's no John Hartson to aim for with these out balls.
It's an out ball, and it's a ball that Celtic do play a lot. They like to just get the ball, drop the ball into big John Hartson, who backs in tremendously well, holds the ball up, holds the play up, and allows the Celtic midfield to come up and support for the likes of Petrov getting into the box. That's a problem for them today.
Played across there by Smith to Caldwell. Caldwell goes for length. Good chest control from Mark Wilson. Well, Petrov clearly has been given a roaming commission. He can go wherever he thinks he can hurt Hibs most. Slipped there by Maloney, allows Whittaker to attack. And the 21 international. Very highly rated young man. Running into a blind alley that time though. Here's Maloney. That's a brilliant turn by Maloney. Well, didn't make up his mind after he got that very good position. Thompson steals the ball from him. That's good play from Riordan to Killen. Well, it's just kept in play for the benefit of Riordan. Well taken by Boric. Riordan looking very eager there.
Looking very sharp up front. Hibs are at the moment. A good start. Riordan, Sproul and Killen. Killen nearly in there looking for the mistake from Boric. Gets it at the second attempt, but Killen's in there again, sniffing around.
Well, Derek Riordan, great goal scoring record this season, 17 so far.
Another good season for that young man. Been out the side for long periods at the start of the season, and still has 17 by his name. And didn't get a new contract extension this week. I'm sure it's available to him, but he wants to move on. Interesting Rangers in the transfer window, so he'll be trying to make a very good impression here at this level. Here's Nakamura. Good recovery by Glass, who lost his bearings for a split second there. Here's Petrov. A very good tackle from behind by Chris Killen, who was back helping there. Here goes Sproul away from Wilson. Such a danger, Sproul. Looks up for support. Baldy's first to the ball. The support was slow in arriving. Mind you, it's difficult to match the pace of Sproul for these Hibs players. I think that's the problem. When Sproul gets on his toes, very difficult for everybody else to keep up for him. That's when he's just got to bide his time, get his head up. It's a great turn of pace, great turn. Well, just look how difficult it was. Just to pick out somebody. Just killing him rather than trying to get up there with him. The only ball he could put on there was that ball cut back. And Bobo Baldy easily read that. So Gary Smith has Whittaker on the near touchline looking for a pass, but he elects to go to the powerful figure of Chris Killen. This is support from
Stewart, Sproul's in behind, he's onside. It's a very disappointing cross from Sproul. Celtic were exposed, no doubt about that.
It's a super ball knocked in here. Sproul just peeling off there, and Mark Wilson, the curved run, far side. Telfer playing him onside. Just a cut back here, it's a simple cut back. Ryden has a tap in. He'll be bitterly disappointed with that.
Challenge by McManus, upsetting some Hibs people, but no free kick given. As with Nakamura and now Keane. Very calm and assured in the middle of the field. Keane does the simple things very effectively. Lennon had that cut off by Michael Stewart, who has certainly started the match showing a lot of aggression and energy. Telfer in a bit of trouble here, has to go back to Boric. Hibs have started well, Mark.
Yeah, started the better of the side, I think. Just in that midfield area, seem to be getting to grips with the play. Thompson in there, working hard, putting Celtic on the back foot yet again there. Quick closing down from the ever-eager Reardon.
Roy Keane here giving a bit of stick to Paul Telfer. One of the contributions he tends to make is to keep teammates right on the toes, Keane. And no respecter of the experience of Telfer in that respect. Killen again doing some good work for Hibs, leading that line. Got a tough task as the principal striker through the middle on his own. Thompson, good control. Riordan also away from Telfer. Good early ball for Killen. Well, I wonder if he should have held that on rather than attempt one and goal. He wasn't going to get any real power on that.
I don't think he realised how much time he actually had here, Killen. It was a hopeful ball into the box. It was a good 2 or 3 yards there of space. I think a shout, a little bit of better position, could have taken that down on his chest.
Well, I think indications that Gordon Strachan should be a little bit perturbed by the defensive setup. Caught the offside trap a couple of times.
Doesn't look too worried though. It's that scowl on his face as usual.
Played along there by Sproul for Killen. Tackle's a good one by McManus. This is Keane. Nakamura back to Telfer. What's a bad error there by Gary Smith, allowing Zurawski to break on the right. Murphy getting back, doing some very good recovery work, David Murphy. Zurawski was not decisive there when he did that very good position behind Gary Smith.
It was a great tackle though from Murphy there. This could have been a handball, but unintentional. A great tackle from Murphy.
Smith's clearance collected again by Telfer. This is Keane. Picked out a good pass there to Nakamura. Now Lennon. Turned away again by Gary Smith. This is Riordan. Trying to use the pace of Sproul. But sometimes you can be slavish towards that, knowing that he is so quick, and defenders adjust to that. They have to be varying their approaches to Sproul, should they give him a real chance.
Absolutely, Joe. I think you become pretty predictable in your build-up, and you're creating from there. You're always looking for Sproul. I think it's up to other people to make runs as well and share that workload, so it becomes pretty easy to mark against.
So Balde gives that to Telfer. Nakamura comes short, but Celtic being invited to play their passes inside their own half here. McManus trying to change that. Whittaker did extremely well. Lovely control by Stephen Whittaker. Maloney trying to get in behind him there. Disappointing pass though, giving Killen no real chance.
Fantastic piece of skill there from young Whittaker. I think that just typifies the season he's had so far. And an outstanding year.
He's 21 years old. 1 goal this season against Aberdeen in January. Perhaps in that, he's been a marauding right back to very good effect in terms of creating things. Not a bad defender either. But this idea of having these 3 narrow midfield players for Hibs looks to be paying off. That's Stewart, Thompson and Glass.
Well, what it does, it denies space in the midfield for Celtic to try and play through. 3 players playing very, very tight together. More often than not are going to pick up a second loose ball. They're going to be first to there and getting Celtic turned round again. At the moment, it's working pretty well.
A lot of passes from Celtic going back or square. There's Maloney's pass to Nakamura, who's come into good effect to join in with Petrov. Nakamura again. Zurawski with a layoff, looking for the return from Petrov. Was it a foul? No, says the referee. Zurawski with a smile on his face as he looks up towards the referee, hopefully.
It's a good knockback in there from Petrov. A good take from Zurawski. Caldwell just getting his body across and finally just getting something on the ball. A nice smile from Zurawski after that. It's just there. Caldwell gets a touch on the ball.
No real protest from Zurawski. I think he was
a wry smile,
looking on the roof light, hoping he might be lucky, but it would have been very soft to say the least. Stewart now in midfield, still to justify the early reputation he attained at Manchester United. This is Sproul again. The gap's available. Can he get through? Wilson denies the space initially. Oh, he's doing a torrid time, Sproul. Oh, that's brilliant play by Sproul. Such determination, good control, real trickery. He's won the free kick.
It was like a slippery hill there. Nobody could get hold of him. There's a touch, a bounce through here, pace, strength. Wilson, 6s and 7s, gets a break there, keeps going. And from McManus, just comes across him and clips him. Forever the handful. It needed a covering centre half there to stop that.
So it could be the in-swinging from Stephen Glass's left foot, or it could be Derek Riordan, who may take it right-footed. The wall scarcely 10 yards back. Glass leaves it to Riordan. Set up for Thompson. Well, good imagination shown there by Hibs, but Kevin Thompson's substantial skills, not really including goal scoring. He hasn't scored all season. The only real weakness in his game is a midfield player. Here he goes again. This is Murphy supporting. A little bit obvious there. Held up well by Keane. A lot of patience being shown by Celtic. Quite content to keep the ball in their own half. Well, that ball was a long time in the air and Maloney was still able to get there. Whittaker not quite tight enough on him that time. Here's Maloney again. Good interception by Caldwell. Caldwell charging forward to support the attack. There's Glass. Well won by McManus.
A little bit more patience there from Hibs when they're getting the ball in the midfield, just trying to rush that pass forward. I think another couple of passes, the ball's going forward. It's coming back pretty quickly now.
Would have been offside there against Zurawski. That's why there was a little reaction from the Polish striker. Ivan Sproul getting back there on Mark Wilson. Well, the throw goes to Hibs. Surely that was Sproul who put that out.
Little toe from Sproul. Linesman not to see that.
So Simon Brown launching the long ball forward. Should be won by a defender, but Killen is always a threat for these. Michael Stewart in a hurry. That's good play. There goes Sproul again. Well, excellent play by Sproul, and is beaten away by Boric. Couldn't quite pull that back well enough, but Sproul is giving the Celtic defence a torrid time.
That's a constant threat every time he gets that ball, whether there's space there or not. He's still sticking the ball past anybody's in front of him, and 9 times out of 10 so far, he's putting in an end product.
Keane wins it back. This is now Nakamura. Lennon available right in the heart of midfield. Petrov and Nakamura combining, but again, some good work by Caldwell. Now Killen. Assessing options round about him. Decides to take on Wilson. It's a good tackle by the new Celtic fullback. Now Maloney. It really is a bit of a technical chess game at the moment, Mark, both sides.
They're still trying to find the way, I think, Celtic at the moment. There's no real pattern to the play. As we say, we keep saying about the John Hartson, the lack of John Hartson in the side. Now, if there's nothing on, you could always knock that ball forward, and more often than not, it will stick up there. That's something they've got to figure out today. I think figure out pretty quickly.
Strong challenge by Caldwell and Petrov inside the area. Poor header by Balde, picked up there by Stewart. Here's Sproul. Stewart gives him an option ahead. Sproul has space to come inside. Well, just too many defenders in the end. Ivan Sproul showing amazing confidence. He can't get enough of the ball at this stage in the match. He's taking a knock this time. He also has a free kick.
He's so elusive when he's got the ball. You know, whether he's taking people on, knocking the ball past people. Gets all the little knocks, people trying to get to the ball. His just feet are so quick, moving the ball from side to side. And yet again, wins himself and his side a free kick in a dangerous area.
A real opportunity this for Hibernian. They'll be concerned about the damage inflicted on Sproul. Want to keep him hale and hearty, I think. Now it's tailor-made for a left-footed strike, this. Stephen Glass, Kevin Thompson could deliver that, and so could Derek Riordan with either foot. His natural strong one's the right. A real chance for Hibs. Being treated with great respect by the Celtic wall. There's Riordan. It's brilliant! Hibs have the lead!
I must admit, looking at that, before that was taken, Budic left a massive side open there. I thought overcovered, but what a free kick. Take nothing away from that young man there. As you said, Jock, left or right foot. For me, Budic is standing far too far over, but that is postage stamp stuff. Budic must know the ability of riding, and that is superb.
Oh, it's a brilliant free kick. And no more than Hibs deserve.
No,
Just to play so far.
Yeah, I'm just going to say no more than Hibs deserve. Been the better of the sides. Created the more opportunities. And I think that might have been just binding away there at Tony Mowbray. All the possession chances they've had in the last third and failing to convert. But that was a sensational strike.
Well, Tony Mowbray showing little sign of emotion. Doesn't often get too excited on that technical area, but it's been so impressive at the start. Here's Stilian Petrov, held up well by Caldwell. A ricochet means a goal kick to Hibs, but it was all down to Ivan Sproul again. He's the man they can't handle.
Yeah, just keep getting him on the ball. As soon as they get the ball, wherever they're getting it deep in the deeper areas, Hibs, they're trying to find him. Whether he's getting the ball deep or getting the ball in an advanced area, he has been a handful. He's won numerous free kicks in his first 25 minutes. And that man now has a problem. Yet to really threaten the Hibs goal.
Remember the man of the match competition coming up. If your selection matches that of Mark Haley at the end of the game, you could win a signed shirt from that man of the match. These are the numbers to call: 0901 65 65 515 from the UK. From the Republic of Ireland, 1513 712 444. And there's the text address, MOTM space player's name. That's to go to 85010. So, man of the match still to unfold, but this man is certainly a candidate.
Absolutely. Had an outstanding first 25 minutes. Constant threat, constant thorn. And one that Celtic need to get hold of.
So the long ball forward again. That's the one that Hartson would challenge for. No Chris Sutton, of course. He's now at Birmingham City. No Hartson, so there has to be a change in the range of passes that are delivered forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the obvious, stating the obvious. When you're at the back there and you've got John Hartson, you don't have to look too hard to find that short pass. You always know you've got that long pass on. 9 times out of 10, that pass is always on to John Hartson. Today, people in front of the back four have got to work a lot harder to make the space, to make that pass available.
Killen penalised again for charging into Bobo Balde. Well, Killen certainly prepared to go to war with Balde, the man from New Zealand. New Zealand international, of course. Spell at Manchester City before going to Oldham. But a good acquisition, I think, for Hibernian at this stage in the season.
A good piece of business. And Gary O'Connor going out, Killen coming in. The proceeds of the O'Connor. Put in 3.
He's done well again, helping that on. It's turned behind for the corner kick by Roy Keane. He's not happy with the decision. The referee feeling explaining that to him and to his teammates. The debate continues.
Never happy with the decision, whether it's going for him or against him. That's why he's such a professional. Never happy. They're just saying the money well spent though, Jock. O'Connor going out the door. Thompson, Sproul and Brown all going on to new contracts.
Well, the assistant there picking up a handball, I think. Stephen Glass, and the referee has changed his decision there, and Celtic's free kick is taken by Boric. Petrov causing a problem for Gary Smith. What do you make of the formation? Whether it was 4-4-1-1 with Petrov behind?
Well, I would say it's not working. I would say it's not working at the moment, and I think Gordon Strachan may need to just have a look at it.
Well, here goes Sproul again. Look how quickly men go across to cope with the danger posed. It's back now with Michael Stewart, and it's Whittaker. Well, Killen again doing a little bit of climbing on the shoulders of Balde.
Right over the back of Balde there. Simple decision for the referee.
Need to be careful, Killen. That's several fouls given against him already in the match.
Yeah, it's a good work to offside, standing in an offside position.
Offside too.
Yeah.
That was the decision. He was offside. He was given.
Just playing on the edge all the time, he is. And there he goes again. Not afraid to put that physique about.
Stewart putting pressure on, doing a lot of closing down work in midfield. So too was Kevin Thompson, to good effect for Hibs. Caldwell now inviting Killen to chase here, put pressure on McManus. Now Whittaker can come striding forward. He's very good in this position. He's away there from Balde. Strong play there by Whittaker. He had to be met by Mark Wilson with some very good covering work for his central defenders.
It's fantastic. We see both sides of that young man's game. Defensive roles, great skill. And this is what we like to see, a full bite. A nutmeg's there on Bobo Balde, and just half a yard too far for him in the final lunge.
Kevin Thompson with a shot. Well, I mentioned he hasn't scored all season, Kevin Thompson, despite being a real power of string in that midfield.
It was a great piece of skill there. Went to drop his right shoulder and came back onto his left side. A great shot. Worrying times if you're a Celtic supporter at the moment, Jock. It's all Hibs. Attack after attack.
Killen was caught offside this time again. He didn't realise that. The flag was up instantly as the ball was released. Well, we watched Hibs do something similar, perhaps even more so the Rangers. Is it offside?
That's
very tight again.
Pretty close that again. That's 2 or 3 times it's been fractional, if at all, offside.
Well, it was supposed to have been without the attacker. That's certainly gone.
Yeah,
rueful smile there for Tony Mowbray. There'll be a debate with the 4th official about that. Balde inconvenienced there somewhat by Killen, but did well enough. Here's Maloney. Zurawski's layoff goes wide of its target, which was Petrov. There's Whittaker. That's another very good turn by Sproul. Overcarried the ball, showed enough of that to McManus to allow the tackle to be made. It was remarkable. First half against Rangers, we watched that, Mark, when really they pulverised. And there's another chance for Glass. Well, his scoring record isn't good either. He hasn't scored all season. Gordon Strachan clearly concerned about the gaps appearing in his defence.
That man is not happy. Sloppy play again there in the Celtic back 4. And Glass getting in there. Should have done better. Should have made the goalkeeper work there. I don't know if he changed his mind whether it was a shot or a shot across the face of the goal. Killen was running in there, but that man is not happy.
A lot of hard thinking to do. I think he'll be very happy to settle to be one behind at half-time and then get the chance to sort this out, because Hibs really are dominating, and dominating to an extent whereby a 1-goal lead doesn't reflect the balance of play enough.
True reflection, absolutely. I think it's all been whole Hibs. A lot of last third play in and around the Celtic penalty box. But only resulting in 1 goal, Jock, so far.
There's Michael Stewart with Maloney. Keane calmly back. This is Wilson. Taken late there by Sproul. That could have been a foul, but advantage given because Celtic retained possession. Nakamura to Lennon. On the far side is Telfer. Now Lennon again. With a lot of passing from Celtic in the middle of the field. Marked difference with Martin O'Neill era when that just didn't happen.
No, it was on its way
much quicker
forward.
Back to front.
Yeah, be on its way forward by now. Lack of understanding there.
Possession yielded again without the defence being stretched. I think that's what will be concerning Gordon Strachan.
I think Hibs will be delighted with that. Make as many passes as you want in front of us. I think that's what they'll be saying. As long as we stay compact at the back. We've got a midfield there, funneling back with the 3. Denying the space. You can play as many passes as you want from side to side. You try and get the ball forward and we'll cut them spaces off.
Good header there by Gary Smith to Murphy. Now Riordan, the goal scorer. That stunning free kick. Boric well out of his area for that. Surprised they saw fit to come all the way out. To Nakamura. Quickly with the throw, trying to get a Celtic attack moving. Zurawski going to go back to Keane. Look at the hustling tactics of Hibs in the middle of the field, giving no time on the ball to these Celtic players.
Fantastic to see, actually. The working in packs, as you say, when you're going to when are pushing the ball, pressurising the ball. It's always in 2s and 3s. At the moment, it's 3s and 4s. And then that happens. A sloppy pass goes forward.
And the back of the back foot.
The back four just come out. Say thank you very much.
I'll read real food for thought for Gordon Strachan. I think that's Stelian Petrov is trying to bring back into the midfield to shore up that area, get some equality there if he can. Indeed he is back there. There's Petrov just now with Nakamura. Good leap by Petrov. Nakamura does well to get the ball across, but look at the speed of Whittaker and the control. Good recovery by Maloney though. Petrov now to Maloney. Maloney's quick enough and it has to be tackled well. It's a very good block by Simon Brown. Penalty kick's been given. Referee Freeland has given a penalty there for the challenge on Sean Maloney. That is surely controversial.
Yeah, it was a late whistle. I think he was looking to see what came from that tackle. If there's any advantage. Yeah, you look at that, it catches the back of Sean Maloney.
That's a penalty, all right. No doubt about that.
Whittaker, who the man was, who lost the ball in the Celtic half, was chasing back and just caught the back of Sean Maloney's leg there. Good decision there from the referee.
Sean Maloney has already scored 3 penalties this season. Stephen Whittaker yellow carded after that. Well, what a lifeline now for Celtic, having been second in the match so far. Maloney can now equalise. Excellent penalty by Sean Maloney. Celtic are on level terms and Hibs must wonder just how that's happened.
That's happened because that young man has got the guile, he's got the pace, he's got the confidence. When he gets free, he's going to attack the space. It's a super penalty. High to the right for the goalkeeper, top corner. But you give that man half an inch or half a yard in which to run into, he will run into it.
Well, it's all level now at Easter Road. The penalty kick from Sean Maloney equalising the free kick from Derek Riordan.
I think you could say, John, it was going to take something of an individual sort of effort to get Celtic going. And it come down to the inform, Sean Maloney.
You want to be overcritical too. You could say that Stephen Whittaker was the victim of his own desire to play too much football in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he was the attacking fullback and he got punished. The space when he lost the ball, that space that he'd left was exploited. And exploited very painfully for that young man.
Yellow card confirmed, and Yes, part of the learning curve for a young defender. Here's Paul Telfer now with the throw. Reaches Lennon. Now Maloney again has found some space to attack the Hibs defence. Roy Keane well forward. Demanding the ball back from Lennon. Not enough pace on that. David Murphy goes in, but a good challenge is made by Telfer to win possession for Nakamura. Now Stewart. Pass not quite accurate enough there for Thompson. Allowed Telfer his way back to intercept. Fascinating match now. Very interesting indeed, bearing in mind the excellent start made by Hibs and the fact they're now back in level terms. They have to retain their faith and try to come again.
Yeah, obviously that goal will give Celtic the lift so they've been looking for.
Nakamura to Petrov, and a very good piece of defending by Gary Smith. Very close to his 35th birthday, Gary Smith, but very quick indeed to match this run.
It's the first time we've seen Petrov get in that advanced area, being the main threat. A great piece of defending there from Smith.
Well, Celtic have been boosted by the goal, no doubt about that. Here's Nakamura now with a corner kick. Big men are up from the back. Simon Brown likes to punch. Not enough space for that manoeuvre from Maloney. In goes Sproul to win it back for Hibs. Well, suddenly the game has changed, Mark. That goal's made such a difference.
Yeah, just knocked the wind out of the Hibs players' sails, should we say. As you'd expect. Give Celtic the lift. That man there just trying to get his side refocused.
Bit of work to do now, I think, for Tony Mowbray. Sean Maloney has given them that problem with an excellent bit of attacking play, followed by the penalty. Certainly no argument that it was a penalty, Mark.
Yeah, clearly caught the back of Sean Maloney's legs. Well, a little bit of criticism from the Hibs supporters every time he gets on the ball at the moment.
The adjustment made there by, there's the foul again by Whittaker from behind, the tackle from behind.
It's the left foot, you know, I mean, the ball's on the right hand side and the left foot's trying to sweep round the back of Sean Maloney. It's the 12th goal of the season for that young man. Another good return. 4
penalty kicks, 8 from open play. But there's a change made by Petrov dropping back into a more orthodox midfield position has made a big difference to the game, because the additional man that Hibs has been negated. There's a much more even contest in there now, and with Maloney and Nakamura tucking in willingly from the flanks, the game has changed a lot. Back towards Celtic. Here's Telfer into the gap for Petrov. A strong play from Stewart. This is Killen. Well tackled to the back by McManus. Possession retained well by Keane for Celtic. Headed down by Żurawski, and the flag is up for offside. Came back from an offside position. Well, we had a lot of technical play in the opening 15-20 minutes, which Hibs seemed to be winning. Now the match is settled again with an adjustment made by Celtic to good effect. Hibs have to think again how they may change the game around. They've moved Sproul over to the far side to the left. Riordan to the right for a spell. Just to mix things up a bit in an attacking sense. This is Nakamura. Lennon returns the ball, and there's still an option on the far side with Telfer. Żurawski. Roy Keane sending it back to Nakamura. Well, the patient build-up play much more acceptable now that Celtic are back in level terms. Nakamura's gone down rather dramatically, clashing with Michael Stewart, who picks him up. Referee Freeland right on the spot there to intervene and calm things down.
There's not a lot of him. More often than not, when he gets brushed, he does go down. Does infuriate a few players.
Now it's Petrov. Keane demanding the ball on the far side. Telford goes outside him, as he does so frequently and so willingly. That's careless play by Nakamura, and also by Stephen Glass. Sproul trying his luck there against Telford on the far side now. Remember, the man of the match competition. Numbers to call on the screen, the text address also to use. Mark Catley will make the decision at the end of the game, and if you agree, you could win a signed shirt. So the free kick taken short to Lennon by Telford. Flipped into the danger area, but missing out McManus, allowing straightforward clearance by Whittaker, but there's no one upfield to take any advantage of that. Hibs really have lost their way since the equalising goal.
Yeah, this took all the momentum away from them. As you would expect, you know, when a team does score, it just gives you that little jolt, and it's how quickly you recover and get back into the flow of it again. You know, for the first 30 minutes, 35 minutes, Hibs were really, really good. Played the football, were dominant in that midfield area. Since the fact that Petrov has been withdrawn back into a more ordinary, shall we say, midfield position, and things have started to balance itself out again.
Well, the match has played at a very good pace. Yeah. It's not been blighted by too many stoppages. Only 1 minute of additional time to be added on. It's a minute and a half from 45 plus 1. And Celtic clearly thinking in terms of getting ahead before half-time. Suddenly it's Hibs who look as though they'd be happy to hear the half-time whistle.
Yeah, 10 minutes ago, that's what I was saying. I think Gordon Strachan would have been delighted to get in 1-0 down. I think he'd be happy, more than happy, going 2-1 up.
Wilson playing it towards Maloney. Closed off well there by Whittaker. Well, it really is a fascinating contest now. It'd be very difficult to assess who may come out of this on top. Certainly history says Celtic. They've always done well against Hibs in recent times. Amazing record of failure Hibs have against Celtic. But here's Zurawski causing a problem for Murphy. He managed to get that back for Keane. Good block by Simon Brown. But the ball should never have been allowed to come in there from Zurawski. That was poor defending by Hibs. Baldy wins it back. It's all Celtic suddenly, and a good challenge made by Thompson. Caught by Nakamura.
Crunching tackle from Thompson there. Two crunching tackles. There we go, straight through Baldy there. There's Nakamura, absolutely nowhere near the ball.
That was
very, very lucky there.
Yeah.
Never thought on playing the ball there. Just played Thompson's legs. Very, very lucky there.
So we're into the minute of stoppage time now, the end of a very interesting, very competitive first half, dominated initially by Hibs, but latterly by Celtic. The game's been turned on its head. Here's Stephen Glass. Now Sproul. Offside though. Flag has been spotted by referee Freeland. Another throw. He watched that taken down for the free kick. Well, Roy Keane came very close indeed there. And this cut back from Zurawski.
Yeah, it's poor defending here from Murphy. Didn't do enough on the ball there. Stung his leg. It's a great execution. Good shot. The ball coming away from the goal, slightly behind him. A good reaction and save from that man there.
Simon Brown did well. Back in the side at the expense of Malkowski. So the half-time whistle goes. It really has been excellent SPL action. Sean Maloney getting that equaliser from the penalty spot after he himself was fouled, following a wonderful free kick from Derek Riordan. Really classy, this free kick from Riordan, which Boric allowed too much of a gap for. Then Maloney was caught by Whittaker from behind, drilled home the penalty kick. Celtic back on terms. That turned the game on its head, and they've come roaring back into the action. Well, Hibs will be looking to recapture the first half-hour performance in the second half. Celtic want more of the same at half-time. It's Hibs 1, Celtic 1.